Hi everyone, welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland and the third in my series of teacher gifts. And today we are going to be using this acrylic blank and some UV resin to make a keyring, which will be lovely for a teacher. These acrylic blanks, which I think I got from BB Craft, come with a protective film on both sides. So what we want to do first of all is take the film off just the one side. You don't want to take it off the other side until you're ready. So just take something sharp and pointy to get it started and then peel it off. Easy as that. And what I'm going to do next is add a sticker. Now I made these stickers on my Cricut, but you can basically use any sticker. You can buy some in, you can make them, but this is what I did anyway. And I used holographic paper, which is basically giving really weird colours here on the camera. So I'm just going to decide which sticker I want and then take it off ready to put on. I am getting a bit of greaseproof paper to help me out with this. I'm just peeling off the sticker that I am wanting to use. Look at that holographic paper, isn't it cool? And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to put some of the greaseproof paper under some of the sticker, and that way I can basically move it around until I'm ready to put it down. So the greaseproof paper, as long as it's that touching the blank and not the sticker, you're perfectly fine to move it. Once you start putting the sticker down though, that's you're committed. So yeah, I did it there and I was like, oh, managed to get it off, only just. I don't want to do that again. And I have. You can see the stickiness where it's came off onto the blank. Hopefully we'll be okay. I'm going with it. The problem is, obviously, there's a hole at the top, so I want it to be straight. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And I've made the sticker ever so slightly bigger than the actual blank, and I will explain why in a second. So I'm just burnishing that down, and then I'm going to turn it round and take out the greaseproof paper, and I'm basically then, hopefully, I've stuck it too far down, trying to get the paper out. Oh, it's a typical Fiona video, isn't it? I eventually get it out, and then I'm just going to very carefully burnish the rest of the sticker down onto the blank. There we go. Now I have got a little bit sticking over the edge all the way around, and I did that on purpose so that if I didn't get it exactly straight, I wouldn't be missing a bit of sticker at one side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take my Cricut weeding tool and poke out the hole in the sticker, the hole that's in the blank through the sticker, because obviously we need that to put our keychain bit through. So that's all I'm doing at the moment. Just anything, a needle or anything would be fine, and I'm just checking there that it's straight. It's straight enough for me, it'll do. And you can see the overhang at the edge there. So rather than cutting the excess off, I'm just going to take a nail file and gently file it off, and it gives a much smoother edge that way. And yeah, definitely it makes it nice and straight. So I'm basically filing it as much as I can and then just picking it off. I will speed this bit up for you. Right, I'm happy with that now. So what I'm going to do is start working on the other side, and I turn it over, take my little weeding tool and just take that protective film off again. And you can see through it now, and it's just the sticker that you see in the back of the sticker, which isn't very attractive. We don't want to leave it like that. Then I want to decide what colour I want to put behind it. Do I want white or do I want black? But to be honest, now that I'm looking at it, the sticker is opaque, so it makes absolutely no difference. But I decide to go for black anyway. But before I actually put anything on the back, I decide I'm going to just go around the edge with my silver pen, just basically to tidy it up a bit. There's still little tiny bits of sticker on there, and it never looks very neat, that bit. Look, I've got a bit of sticker there, I need to get that off. Just taking my file again, and then I basically just go right round the outside of it with my silver marker. So I'll speed this up. Once I'm happy with that, it's time to get my UV resin sorted for doing the back. I always like to do the back first because I feel if you do the front burst, when you turn it over to do the back, it can get a bit yucky. So it's just me. It doesn't really matter. So I'm using the Resiner's UV resin, which was kindly gifted to me by Resiners, and I really do like it. I've just squirted some into my little cup, and I'm going to add some of this gorgeous black iridescent holographic glitter. I think this is the first time I've used it. I got it from Temu. You don't want to add too much because it is UV resin. You want to be able to, the light has to be able to get right through to cure the resin. So you don't want too much, but you want enough to give it a nice bit of colour. So I'm just trying to get that balance right. So I'm adding a bit more. I'm not using the same tool because that has now got resin on it. I don't want to get resin in my glitter. So I've added more in, and I'm just going to give that a mix up now and see what it's like. If you do want it to look quite opaque, you can do it in layers rather than doing one thin layer really, really opaque. Just do a few thin layers and it will become opaque. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm just getting ready to put it on now. I'm just getting something to protect my silicone mat because they get minging and it's hard to clean. So this is me trying out something new. Anyway, I'm ready now just to put on my UV resin with the glitter in it and spread it out over my acrylic blank. I will speed it up. So that's a nice thin layer spread evenly across the acrylic blank. I'm ready now just to pop it under my UV lamp. It looks a bit sort of crinkly and creased and uneven. It's not, that's the sticker from the other side that you're seeing. It is nice and smooth and even. So I'm just going to put it under my UV lamp for a couple of minutes to let it cure, and then I'll come back. Now that layer has cured and I'm quite happy with it, but I do want it to be a little bit more opaque. So I decide to add another layer, and basically just the same again, the UV resin with the glitter. I'm just going to add another layer and cure it, and I will come back to you once that is done. There we go, and as you can see, it's a lot more opaque now, and it's exactly the way that I wanted it. It is nicely cured, and I am ready to move on to the other side now. Now all I want to do on this side is put just a layer of clear UV resin on it, and this is basically just to seal the sticker in and give it a nice finish. So I'm putting my UV resin right around the edges and then a wee squidgy in the middle, and I'm just doing it directly from the bottle because I'm not adding anything into it. And then I'm going to take my silicone tool and spread it all out. At this point, I do actually start to worry. I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but bits of the sticker look different to other bits. And I'm thinking, oh, is it going soggy? Is it, is the UV resin affecting it in any way? Because I've not used UV resin on one of these holographic stickers before. And yeah, I'm sort of very gently making sure that it's at all the edges and things. But I do start looking at it and think, oh, I'm not sure if we'll see it. Anyway, what I'm doing here, I'm being very careful going to the edge. As long as you don't push the UV resin off the edge, it shouldn't flow itself, if you know what I mean. The surface tension should stop it going over the edge. But if you create a little barrier, if you actually break the surface tension at one point, it will start running off. So you need to be very careful not to do that. And I've got a hair. So yeah, very carefully at the edges, make sure that you get it right there, get the surface tension, but don't let it flow off the edge. And no, the camera's definitely not picking it up, but there was bits here where some of the sticker was going dark and some of it wasn't. And I was a bit worried, but spoiler alert, it turns out fine. I think it was just the UV resin absorbing into some of it. It basically turns out nice and uniform. It doesn't cause any problems. No, the camera's not picking it up. Anyway, I'll just speed the rest of this bit up for you. Now I want to make sure there's no bubbles, but when you've got resin right at the edges using the surface tension, if you spray alcohol, it's going to pour off the edge. It breaks the surface tension, so use a flame or a heat gun or something instead of alcohol when you're doming something like this. And I've got a little bit there that I've missed, but actually it's not, it's a sticker looking uneven. Can you see it there? And I think, oh, but honestly it's fine. I just leave it for another few minutes and it all becomes nice and even. You can see now that little whitish patch has gone. It's all nice and even. So that is me ready to cure it. I'm just going to pop it under the lamp for a few minutes. While that's curing, I've still got some UV resin left, so I decide to use it in this little mould to make some little musical notes, which I am going to need in a future project coming up in a couple of weeks. So I just use this little mould and use up my UV resin in this. Basically, just do exactly the same, just filling up the mould with the UV resin, making sure that it's in all the nooks and crannies, and then curing it under the UV light. I won't put all of this on camera, I just wanted to let you know that I did that because I'll show you them at the end. So now my keychain has cured and I'm having a look at it and I really like how it's turned out. And there is the back. And the edges are looking quite good, but I think I do go over it again with the silver pen. But yeah, I like the way that it has actually turned out. Yeah, there I am, just going over the edge with the pen again. I won't make you sit and watch all of that, it was just to show you that I did give it another coat. Once that's done and dry, I am ready to add the hardware to it. So I've got some jump rings here ready to go, and I'm going to use one of these key rings that I got from Temu. I'm basically just going to add this to that key ring, so it's sort of upgrading it a little bit. So I'm having a look and it's a really nice key ring. It's got the wee saying on it, I can't even remember what it says. And it's got the apple and the owl, and it's just a lovely wee teacher key ring, but I thought this will add something to it. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do, where I'm going to add it. Am I going to put it in on its own? Am I going to add it to the chain? What am I going to do? So that's what I'm doing at this point. So I think I'm just going to add it to the chain that's there. So I get a jump ring out and I open the jump ring. You want it to be big enough to go through the blank because it is quite thick, so you don't want a really tiny jump ring. I think I had taken one that was too small there and decided to go for a bigger one. So remember, when you are opening jump rings, you can use your little pliers, one at one side, one at the other, and don't pull it apart, you twist it apart like that. And then I'm going to pop the jump ring, sorry it's slightly off camera there, through my blank that I've just made, and then I am attaching it to the chain that is on the original keychain. Does that make sense? You know what I mean. And then you just twist the jump ring closed again. Then I hold it up and have a look at it and see what I think. And I decide that I'm not very happy with the sort of round charm where it is. So I decide that I'm going to change that. So I take the blank that I've just made off again. I just opened the jump ring and I'm just going to take that off. And then I am going to take the round charm off as well, because I think that's what's stopping me from liking it. So I decide I'm going to take that off and replace it on the actual round bit of the key ring. So here I am, just closing the jump ring. So I've not taken it away altogether, but I have moved it so that it's on the bit where the keys go rather than being on the chain, and that way I have got space for the bit that I've just made. Look at me making a mess of it trying to close the jump ring. Then I simply put the bit that I've just made back onto the chain, close the jump ring again, and that is it. I hold it up and have a look at it. And there we go, best teacher ever. And that's the back of it. I really like it, and I do like the fact that it's still got the charms on the key ring as well. So I think there's quite a lot of value there. And I just love the way that the holographic stickers turned out. I've noticed that I've got a few finger marks on the front of it, so I take my glossy varnish sealer again that I used in my previous UV resin video, and I just go over the front of it with that just to smooth it all out again, make it nice and clear, and then I give it another cure under the lamp. So here I am. You basically just paint it on like nail polish and it clears it all up and just gives it a nice finish. So that's all I'm doing there. I will come back to you once that's cured. So it's cured now, and so have the little music notes that I made. That's them there that I'm showing you. They've turned out really cute as well. So I'm going to put them to the side and keep them for another project that you'll see in a couple of videos time. And this is the actual keyring. I think it is lovely. Really nice. So before I put it in the packaging, I like to leave all of my UV resin things on the window ledge in the sunshine just to make sure it's properly cured. Once that's done, I'm ready to package it up, and I have got one of these holographic bags. They're resealable from Temu and they're brilliant. They're a bit like the ones that I use for the beadable pens and things, but they're bigger. And I'm so sorry it's off camera. What am I like? The last video was bad as well. Apologies, I promise I'll get better. And I just put it in there and there we go. There it is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, another nice easy handmade gift for a teacher. If you have enjoyed it, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, talk to me. I'll see you in our next one. Bye!